Good day, everyone. This is the Fine Arts Teacher, and today we're going to learn how to do a simple two-point perspective drawing. So this is just going to be basically drawing rectangular or square-shaped cubes in space. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a mark along the edge of your paper, and the height of the mark really doesn't matter. You could do it at 4, 4 1/4, 4 1/2, wherever you want, as long as you're somewhere near the middle of the paper for this. Our piece of paper is 8 1/2 inches long, so I'm going to go ahead and make a mark at exactly the halfway point, right along the edge of the paper, and this is going to be at 4 1/4 inches. So this does have to be a dot. You're not making a little teeny dash, you are making a dot, and you're making it right at the edge of the paper. So these are our 2 points for our two-point perspective drawing. Now, we're going to be making 5 rectangular or cube-shaped forms on this piece of paper. One's going to be in the middle, and then we're going to have some in these areas as well. So the first one we're going to make is going to be near the center of the paper, and you want to make sure that this line goes straight up and down. So if your ruler looks a little crooked like this, straighten it up so it looks like it's going straight up and down. I'll oftentimes look at the bottom of the ruler just to make sure that I don't have an uneven gap at the bottom of the ruler like that. So I'll make sure I'm going straight up and down, or as close as possible, and then I'm going to draw a mark that's about 2 inches long. You could go up to 2 1/2 or 3 inches, whatever you want, as long as it's somewhere near the middle of your paper. Now, we're going to make a handful more of these, but I'm going to go ahead and show you how to start this one first. When you're beginning to do two-point perspective, the most important thing to remember for basic forms like this is, if it's not vertical or straight up and down, it has to go towards a vanishing point. So if we're on the left side of this line, we're going to go towards our left vanishing point. If we're on the right side, we'll go to our right vanishing point. And the easiest way to do this is to simply put your pencil against the top or bottom of your line and scoot your ruler up to it, and then rotate that ruler until you get to one of those vanishing points. In this case, I'm going to draw a line going towards the right vanishing point. And then draw your line. I'm going to make it 1 inch to 2 inches long. It doesn't have to be super long, and you don't have to use any precise sort of a measurement. You do, however, want to make these lines look like they're stopping right above and below each other like that. Now, if you are ready to, you can go ahead and start making your lines going towards your left vanishing point now. So I put my pencil on the top of this vertical line again. I'm going to slide my ruler up to it, and I'm going to rotate it towards my left vanishing point. And then draw my line again. They can be longer or shorter lines. They don't have to be the same length on the left and right. So if this one's a little longer than this one, that's fine. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing from the bottom of that vertical line, lining my ruler up with it and drawing my line going towards the vanishing point. Now, I purposefully made this line a little bit shorter than this one, just so you can see an example of what you do in that sort of a situation. So I'm going to first finish this side over here, then I'll show you how to finish this side. So to finish off this cube, we're going to go ahead and make a straight up and down line that touches to both of these diagonals. So if you made them really precisely the same height as each other like this, then that's really easy. You just draw a straight up and down line there. No big deal. What you don't want to do is you don't want to connect two ends together if they're not the same length as each other. So if this one's longer and this one's shorter, we just want to draw a line that comes up from here and stops wherever along that other diagonal. And again, we want to make sure these are straight up and down lines. So I'll just draw it like that, and then if there's any left over, we can go ahead and just erase it. So again, you're going to draw a straight up and down line between these two diagonals on the left and right. You're not drawing one that goes off at an angle like this. You want it to be straight up and down, and if there's any leftovers, you just erase it like that. All right, so this one is kind of straddling the middle between our two vanishing points. So all we see is the left side and the right side. What happens, though, if your cube or your rectangular form is above your vanishing points or below them? That's what we're going to talk about next. So let's go ahead and draw ourselves another straight up and down line. Now, one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to draw this line too close to the edge of your paper. And the reason for that is because if you draw it too close to the edge of your paper, then you're going to end up having these lines be really, really steep of an angle, and that's going to look a little bit weird. If you visualize a circle placed between these two vanishing points, anything that falls near the edge of that circle or outside of that circle would look weird or would be hard to draw. So just keep that in your mind. You don't want to do it out here because that would be outside of a circle drawn between those vanishing points. All right, so all we have to do is we're going to do the same thing one more time. We're just going to draw two lines, one from the top and one from the bottom of this line going towards our left vanishing point, and we're going to draw two lines that go towards our right vanishing point. So all you have to do is just simply put your pencil against either the top or bottom. I'll start on the top. Slide your ruler up to it, rotate it until you get to that left vanishing point, draw your line. You can make it long or you can draw it short, it doesn't matter. And then do the same thing from the bottom. Go ahead and put your pencil against the bottom of that vertical line, slide your ruler up to it, rotate it until you get to your left vanishing point, draw your line, and remember, you want them to look like they're stopping right above and below each other like this. And then we'll do the same thing towards your right vanishing point. So we'll go ahead and put my pencil tip against the top of that vertical or straight up and down line, slide my ruler up to the right vanishing, or up to that pencil tip, and then rotate it until we get to the right vanishing point, draw your line. Do the same thing one more time from the bottom of this vertical line. Now remember, you want to make them go the same, or you want to make them look like they're ending above and below each other. You can see this one's going too long, and that's just again to show you an example like I did here of what you would do in that situation. So we've got one vertical line, we've got two lines going to the left vanishing point, two lines towards the right vanishing point. Now we're going to draw a straight up and down line in between them, just like we did here, and just like we did here. So we'll take your ruler, make sure it's really going straight up and down, and draw a line between those two diagonals. If there's any that goes past, you can go ahead and erase it. And on the other side, remember, we're not drawing a line from end to end. We need a straight up and down line. So we're just going to place our pencil against there. We're going to make our ruler go straight up and down, draw a line that goes in between them, and erase the excess. So you can see that it looks a little bit different from the first one. We do see a left side and a right side do our rectangular form, but it feels like something's missing down here. And that's because this is above our horizon line or eye level. In other words, it's above our two vanishing points. Anything that's above the vanishing points, you would see the underside of. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a line that goes from this corner, from our left lower corner, towards our right vanishing point, and from the right lower corner towards our left vanishing point. And it doesn't matter. You can start with either one. So I'm going to go ahead and go from my left lower corner towards my right vanishing point. And I don't need to go all the way there. I'm just going to draw it a short distance and then stop. And then I'm going to draw a line from the lower right vanishing point to the lower left vanishing point until it hits this one. And wherever those lines touch each other, that creates the underside of the box, and I can get rid of any excess line that's left over. And it'll look like this. So we're going to do this a couple of more times. We're going to do one more over here, and we're going to do two down here at the bottom. So let's say, what if we have a much shorter vertical line? If we make that straight up and down line much shorter, and remember, don't do it too close to your edge of your paper. So we're just going to make a real short one. So this will be almost like a book laying flat, but kind of floating in the air. So we're going to go towards our left vanishing point from the bottom and top of this little short line, and then we're going to go towards the right vanishing point. And it doesn't matter which one you start with. So again, just drawing my line from the top to the left vanishing point and from the bottom of that vertical line towards the left vanishing point. I'm going to draw a straight up and down line in between, or actually no, I'm going to draw it towards the right first. So now we're going to go towards our right vanishing point. Now we're going to do the same thing we did over here. We're going to draw a straight up and down line here and here. So it's going to be right over here and right over here. And if any goes past, just erase it. So now we got the left and the right sides. We need the underside still. So just remember, from these two lower corners, we're going to go towards opposite vanishing points. So on the left side, we're going to go towards the right. On the right side, we're going to go towards the left. You don't need to go all the way to the vanishing point. You just need them to cross over each other. So now I'm going to go from my lower right towards my lower left, or towards my vanishing point on the left, and then erase any mark that's left over. One of the major problems people have, one of the things they forget about, is that very simple rule. If it doesn't go straight up and down, it goes towards a vanishing point. So these lines have to go towards your vanishing points in order to be correct. If they're not, then you know you're wrong. Now, to do your two boxes on the bottom area here, how's it going to work? Well, it's going to work the exact same way. I could even flip it upside down and I could do it this way instead. It doesn't really matter. So when you are ready to, you're just going to go ahead and begin drawing those vertical lines and then your diagonals. So let's go ahead and start with my vertical line going straight up and down. Remember, it can be a tall line, it can be a short line, that really doesn't matter as long as you're not too close to the edge of your paper. Now I'm going to have two lines go towards my left vanishing point, two lines towards my right vanishing point to create the left and right sides of this box. Now I'm going to have the two lines going towards my right vanishing point from the top and bottom of that vertical line. And then we're going to go ahead and connect them together with two straight up and down lines. And just remember, you want these lines to be straight up and down. If anything goes too far, erase it. All right, so just like we did above, we're going to be seeing one more side. We got the left and the right side, but because this is lower than the vanishing points, in other words, it's lower than your eye level, or something they call the horizon line, we're going to be seeing the top of this box instead of the bottom. So we're looking down upon this box, basically. So we're going to draw a line that goes from the right towards the left, and we're going to draw a line that goes from the left towards the right. Where they cross over each other creates the top side of the box, and we can erase anything that goes past. All right, we're going to do one more right over here, and I'm going to make it long, kind of like a skyscraper with little skinny sides. Why? Because I can. It doesn't matter how long these sides are. So I got my two lines going towards my left vanishing point. I'll have my two lines going towards my right vanishing point. We just need to draw a straight up and down line that goes in between those now. If anything goes past too far, go ahead and erase it. And then from the right side, from the left side, I'm going to go towards the right. And from my right side, I'll go towards my left. So now you've got five simple boxes. You can see that some are flatter, some are taller and longer, some are more cube-shaped. And if it's above the vanishing points, you're going to see the underside of these boxes. If it's below the vanishing points, you're going to see the top sides of these boxes. All right, now, this is going to be the end of this short little lesson. However, we're going to move on, and I'm going to show you in the next video how to create a more complex scene. And we're going to show you how to do boxes that are piercing through other boxes, boxes that are stacked on top of other boxes. I'm going to show you how to do an archway. So we're going to kind of like keep it fresh, and we're going to show you how to do some additional things using these techniques. Thank you very much.